Hi guys, my name's Melina, and for my project I researched the FLQ Crisis. I'm gonna be looking away from the camera a lot because I didn't memorize my thing. So yeah. So the FLQ stands for Front de Libération de Québec I don't speak French because I don't live in Quebec. But yeah. So anyways, the FLQ was founded in 1963 and it was created by these three Quebecer guys named Raymond Villeneuve, Gabriel Houdon, and Georges Choeters. The group consisted of people that wanted Quebec to basically be independent from Canada because at this point their economy was growing at a historical rate and they were like, we don't need Canada anymore because we're so good. And they thought that they could function all on their own. And that's all fine and dandy, right? However, the group promoted violence to achieve what they wanted by planting bombs, committing robberies, and vandalizing buildings in Montreal, Quebec. The crisis began in October of 1970. So first of all, what makes this event so important to our history? Now, why am I even talking about this event? Why is it important? Well, things that happened because of the FLQ during the crisis include the kidnapping of these two politician guys, you might know them, James Cross and Pierre Laporte. And Pierre Laporte, who they killed by choking him with a chain, which is the moment when the crisis started. And I think that's pretty important. It caused the War Measures Act to be implemented, and it was the first time that it was applied during peacetime in Canadian history. And overall, many people were injured and many buildings were very damaged because, you know, bombs do that. And you want to know something that didn't happen because of the FLQ? The separation of Quebec from Canada, baby. Look, it's still here. Whoa! But anyways... Primary source evidence helps us understand how people were directly affected by the event. These are some pictures of graffiti as well as a damaged building, all done by FLQ members. And this is a picture of a newspaper article from the time, showing a headline about how the government was bargaining with the FLQ, which shows how powerful the FLQ was and how badly the government wanted the crisis to end. Now, this isn't the first time that the Canadian government has had to deal with terrorists and bombings before, but it was nothing at this kind of scale. In the FLQ situation, the bombings were larger and multiple occurred, and it was confirmed that multiple people were participating in it. This time, the government put cash rewards of tens of thousands of dollars for information on the group, and the Prime Minister at the time, Pierre Trudeau, activated the War Measures Act for the first time, which allowed the federal government to hunt down domestic terrorists. Even though the people of Quebec were doing a lot of harmful things, the Canadian government still wanted them to be happy, so they would sign the Constitution. We already know why the FLQ did what they did, and it was so they could separate from Canada and become independent. And we also know that they weren't successful because look at the map. But why did they decide to do all of this bombing and graffiti stuff and robbing people instead of peacefully protesting or something? Well, they felt like they needed to get rid of what the English colonizers did to their people and culture. And with their violence, they were trying to turn the rest of Quebec against the rest of Canada with them. Now, what were the consequences of these attacks? Well, multiple people died and many more were injured. On October 17th, 1970, Pierre Laporte was found dead in an abandoned car. Over 50 FLQ members were put in jail, ranging from 1-year sentences to 25 years. That's older than me, which is a long time to be in jail. And over 250 more people were arrested after the War Measures Act. Even though the FLQ did a lot of bad things, we still have to try to understand why they thought it was okay to do from their perspectives at the time. Often as citizens of a society, we feel like nothing we do really matters or makes a difference in the long run. The FLQ not only wanted Quebec to be independent, but also socialist, or for the people to have a say in what happens in the country. This was before a referendum or vote to separate was given, and it was to show that the people of Quebec had power and determination to get what they wanted, and they decided to rob people and bomb places to, you know, show the power that they had. Now, what can we learn from this, and how can we make things better from now on? I think we can definitely learn that terrorism shouldn't be taken lightly. And even if there are only tensions that people can feel between certain groups, it should be addressed and we should do our best to make it right before it becomes a bigger issue or even an attack. And even after only one bombing, we should still investigate and find the person or group who did it before more can occur. And now I hope that you understand the FLQ crisis more than you did before. See ya! Should I do the thing where I cover the camera? That would be silly and goofy.